seems so familiar, but today we're getting the roll cage ready for paint. How long is this gonna take? Jeez. Thanks for watching. We're getting the roll cage ready to paint on Chris Hall's S10 here, and this truck sat in this garage for 20 years. Now you wouldn't know it now, but there's holes in the roof, raccoon poop inside the truck, all kinds of sadness. This is previously a race truck. This cage was put in by the late Steve Griebuck. You know how long it's been in there, and it was pretty rusty. So what I did was sanded all the rust off and put some rust converter on it, and it's been sitting for way too long. So we took some 240 grit and scuffed off what was there, and now we're taping it and getting ready to paint the roll cage. I started taping the inside of the truck so we don't get paint overspray all over everything and make a mess. Also, another reason for taping this off is to keep dirt. So sanding this all down with 240 grit. We're taping off the inside of the truck to A, protect the inside of the truck, and B, stop the dirt on the truck from getting in the paint. So we're gonna continue taping this off, and then we'll wipe the roll cage down with some Windex and shoot some epoxy primer on it. And we'll either set up a time lapse or come back to you when we get to that point. Thanks for watching. Last night we got Chris's S10 all taped up to keep the dirt down out of the roll bar and cage and all this stuff, and today we're gonna at least get some epoxy primer sprayed on it. But first we're gonna take some good old-fashioned Windex and wipe everything off and dry it to get any residual hand grease or contaminants off of the roll cage. Usually I'd like to use wax and grease remover, but unfortunately I don't have any. You could use isopropyl alcohol, you could use brake cleaner, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but you'd use a lot on this and it evaporates way too fast. You want to have it wet and wipe it off to get the contaminants off of the surface. So we're just going to use good old Windex. These aren't the best things to use because they have an amount of lint, but what I like to do is use one wet and then use one dry to dry it off, and then we'll be going to tacking it off to get all the dust off of it, any minor lint pieces or whatever, and then we'll be shooting it with the Spray Max 2K epoxy primer, beige. I don't know why that's the color I had, but this is professional grade epoxy primer put in a spray can. They give you this button, you put it in the bottom of the can and you hit it, and it releases the activator into the primer so it hardens. There's a shelf life of this, so you have to pretty much use it all or it's garbage. You could go on you could just Google Spray Max 2K epoxy primer beige and technical data sheet, and it gives you the very specific details and instructions of how to use it. It also says on the can, but says once activated, pot life is 4 days. To be used within 36 months from the date of manufacture. They want you to shake it for 2 minutes after you turn it over, put the thing in there and pop the bladder inside to release the hardener. And it says, there's information that's not on here that's important. You can prime this, and within a certain window of time, you can top coat over it. If you have to let it dry, you need to go back and scuff it, or you'll have, or could have adhesion problems. So, I'm not going to say that I'm just going to epoxy prime it and then paint right over it. I won't know that until I'm done, because first thing is, I'm going to try to do this with 2 cans. If I can't prime it with 2 cans, I only have two cans of base coat, and this is from my local auto parts store, G&E Paint and Supplies. This is a Ford color. The code is 4979. It's called Ultraviolet Poly. If you remember the old Ford Ranger Splash pickups, that's what color this is, and I think that'll provide a good contrast against the black. Now, this is a little bit of on the expensive side, but you could do this at home without an air compressor, and that's the benefit. When you're painting a roll cage, it's very difficult to take a spray gun through in all these areas and paint without dragging your air hose around and getting into all the nooks and crannies upside down, where a spray can will be a great advantage to you. So, so we got the epoxy beige, we got the ultraviolet poly base coat, and we also have another Spray Max product. It's called 2K Glamour Clear. Now this is a two component clear coat in a spray can. It's the same principle. You take the popper off, pop that, releases the hardener in the bladder, you shake it for 2 minutes, good to go. There's a pot life on this too, and it says once activated, the pot life is 48 hours to be used within 36 months of the date of manufacture. So, what we're gonna do is wipe this down with the Windex, tack it off, and spray the epoxy primer. After that, we'll determine whether or not that we're gonna paint it and clear it tonight. We use Windex because it's mostly alcohol, and it evaporates quickly without leaving a residue. Look at all that dirt on there. That's how you come out with a nice paint job. Most of the reason we have all this plastic and paper down is to keep the dirt away from there. So, yeah, see, that's pretty, there's a little bit of dirt on there, nothing to speak of. If this was outside of a car paint job, I'd be freaking out and go over it 30 times, but it's roll cage, so we're gonna ship it. Remember, one rag to wipe it wet, another rag to wipe it dry. Look at all that dirt, just from that little bit. So when we're painting this, there's a lot of tight areas in here, and what we gotta do is just the best we can. This is all inside the car, As long as it looks good, it'll be fine because it won't be left outside in bare metal or anything and start rusting. It's alright if you get the paper wet a little bit. Just wipe it up when you're done to get the dust off of that too. Probably would have been a good idea to start with blowing this off with compressed air, but we did that before we went in the house last night. Nothing's been going on out here today, so that's nice. And if you drop that on the floor, just get a new one. Not this floor, but the floor that's dirty. Really, it shouldn't be dirty because you really should wet the floor down and keep dust down and stuff like that. But, you know, shortcuts. Probably end up costing in the long run. But we'll see how this goes. I think we will be fine. Wax on, wax off. Tack cloth, wiping it down. Wasn't getting too much dirt off of this, so it should be pretty clean. The key to this is just wiping it lightly. If you wipe it too hard, you'll leave tack cloth residue, and dirt will stick to it, or it'll cause the paint to lift, or at least show a spot or something. So we just go over this real lightly. Then after this, we're gonna pop open the can and start spraying. So all there is to this, you put this red thing on here, like so. That didn't work. Let's try this again. I did it a couple times just to make sure. Then you do this for 2 minutes. Man, this roll cage painting has a lot of familiar things in it. Sideways, up and down, in and out. Take it. Take it. Take it. 2 minutes is a long time when you're going. Ooh, that's nice. Not really digging this can so far. So we got a couple coats of epoxy on there and let it flash. Now we're spraying the base coat. Probably would use 4 cans on this, but we got it covered in 2. It's just thinner race car paint job. So I'll bring you back when we throw some base on it.